We are live.
And I'd like to call the meeting of the Committee of the Whole Planning and Administration to order. I would ask that you rise as you're able for the reading of the invocation. As we come together today, we recognize the great responsibilities laid upon us. Our council will always strive to understand the needs of the people we serve and to use power wisely and well. Our purpose is to establish and maintain a city of prosperity and righteousness where freedom prevails and where justice rules. We acknowledge the rich history of this land, which includes the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee peoples. Today, there are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples who live or work in the city. The intent of this acknowledgement is to recognize our responsibility to use and take care of these lands responsibly and respectfully, while remembering the generations past and considering the generations yet to come. We respect and seek to continue and promote the longstanding relationships with this area's First Nations, Six Nations of the Grand River, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and the Indigenous peoples who reside within the city of Brantford. Let us not forget those who have served our community and who are no longer with us, so that we may continue to do the work we must in their memory. Please be seated. Clerk, has the roll been taken?
Through the chair, roll has been taken.
Okay, prior to this meeting, we had a closed session meeting, and I am providing a report to consider matters that is permitted to do under the Municipal Act and is listed on the agenda. In continuing the interest of transparency and open government, I am reporting in public session any outcomes from the closed session meeting that I am permitted to do so. 3.1, Memorandum of Understanding for Venue Management between Oak View Group and the Corporation of the City of Brantford for the Brantford Sports and Entertainment Center. Council received an update on the negotiations underway between Oak View Group and the city regarding venue management of the Sports and Entertainment Center and gave staff direction. 3.2 was the acquisition of 307 Powerline Road. Council received information regarding the acquisition of 307 Powerline Road. Staff were given direction to bring forward the appropriate bylaw and agreement before City Council for consideration in open session. 3.3, offer for purchase of 100-102 Wellington Street. Council received information regarding a proposed offer to purchase 100-102 Wellington Street and gave staff direction. 3.4, transfer of Part 3 prosecutions from province to city. Council received information regarding the transfer of prosecutions from the province to the city and gave staff direction. Moving on, item 3, declarations of conflict of interest. Members of committee, are there any declarations of pecuniary interest for any items appearing on tonight's agenda? Seeing none. Members of committee, are there any items for consideration or consent that you would like separated for discussion purposes? Councillor Martin.
Yeah, 7.1.5, the Brownfields Community Improvement Plan Tax Incentive Grant.
Okay. Councillor Samwell.
7.1.1, please.
Okay, not seeing any other raised hands. Councillor Van Tilborg, I believe you have the motion to approve all items for consideration consent.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Samwell, that all items for consideration and consent 7.1 and 7.2 not separated for discussions be approved.
Clerk, can you please read the titles of the items that are subject to the vote? Proceed with the vote.
Following items are subject to the vote. Item 7.1.2, legislative updates and impacts to Brantford, Bill 98 and concurrent provincial consultations. Item 7.1.3, 2026 official plan review, procurement of consulting services. Item 7.1.4, update to bylaw for appointment of hearings officer. Item 7.1.6, housekeeping amendments to the sign bylaw, chapter 478 of the municipal code. Item 7.1.7, administrative penalty system, non-parking bylaws. Item 7.2.1, City of Brantford 2025 annual report. Item 7.2.2, film policy 2026 update and modernization. And item 7.2.3, the minutes. Mayor Davis, just waiting on your vote. That carries on a recorded vote of 10-0. All those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councillors Sullivan, Martin, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Coley, Caputo, McCreary, Hunt, and Samwell.
Thank you. Now moving on, we have, there are no statutory public hearings on the agenda this evening. We do have one delegation this evening. Before hearing the presentation or delegation, I would like to remind those in the meeting today that the following rules of decorum as set forth in the city's procedural bylaw apply. No persons shall display any sign, banner, or placard in the meeting room other than meetings that, in the opinion of the chair, are legitimate audiovisual aids in connection with any presentation made to council. All persons present shall use polite and respectful language and shall refrain from the use of any language or the making of any gestures that is disrespectful or offensive. All persons addressing council shall speak only on the subject in debate and shall not speak on any other subject. No person shall applaud participants in debate or engage in conversation or behavior that may disrupt proceedings of the meeting. So under delegations, we have one delegation, Logan Webb, President of ANA Vets, Unit 341, and Logan is speaking to item 8.1. I would now ask Logan Webb to come forward. You have 10 minutes inclusive of questions.
Through the chair, members of council, and members of the committee. My name is Logan Webb, and I'm the president of the Army of Air Force, Veterans in Canada, the 2nd and 10 Dragoons, Unit 341, located at 645 Cobra Street East here in our city of Brantford. I'm here today to speak in support of the resolution before you regarding the municipal planning and building permit fees that are connected to our reconstruction. I would first like to begin by thanking Councillor Carpenter for bringing this resolution forward, and I'd also like to thank members of council and the committee for the opportunity to speak today on behalf of our members. Unit 341 has been part of Brantford since 1959. For more than 65 years, our unit has served veterans, members of the Canadian Armed Forces, their families, and the broader community. Over those many decades, our unit has been part of the community fabric of Brantford. It has been a place where people gathered, where veterans found fellowship, where families were formed, and where community members came together in support of common causes. It has been a place connected to remembrance, service, volunteerism, and local history. For many people, organizations like ours may be thought mainly as clubs or meeting places. But for our members and for many in the community, Unit 341 has become more than that. It has been a place of belonging. It has been a place where people could continue serving their community after their military service, after their family member service, or simply because they believed in supporting veterans and local causes. That sense of service is an important part of who we are. Our unit has supported Remembrance Day activities, veterans programs, community efforts, charitable efforts, and has helped preserve the connection between Brantford and the people who have served Canada. It has helped bring people together across generations, including veterans, families, seniors, volunteers, and residents who care about remembrance. When our building at 645 Cormer Street East was lost, it was not only a loss of a structure, it was a loss of a familiar gathering place and a long-standing community space. It affected our members, our volunteers, and those who knew the unit as being part of Brantford for many years. Since that time, our focus has been on moving forward in a responsible and practical way. We want to rebuild. We want to serve our community. We want to restore a place where our members and the community can once again gather, support one another, and continue the work that has been carried on for decades. The resolution before you would be a meaningful form of support towards that goal. I want to be clear. We understand and respect the city's building and planning processes. These processes are important, and they help ensure construction is completed safely, properly, and in a way that protects the public interest. Our request is not about changing those standards. It's not about avoiding the proper process. It is simply about recognizing the circumstances of this rebuild and allowing more of an available resource to remain focused on restoring the facility itself. For a volunteer-driven, not-for-profit organization, that kind of support matters. Every construction project involves many costs. Some are visible, less are invisible. For organizations like ours, each cost affects the overall ability to complete the rebuild in the strongest possible way. When municipal relief can be provided with council's authority, it can make a practical difference. It can help ensure that resources are directed towards the building, the safety of the space, accessibility, community use, and for the many finishing details that will turn a structure back into a functioning home for an organization. This is not a commercial development, and it is not a project being advanced for private gain. It is the reconstruction of a community-based veterans organization that has served Brantford for more than 6 decades and wishes to continue to in the future. That is why this resolution is important to us. It recognizes that community organizations play a role that is sometimes difficult to measure, but is very real. They provide places for people to belong. They create opportunities for volunteer service. They support local traditions and local memory. They help bring people together in ways that strengthen the community as a whole. Veterans organizations play a particular role in that work. They help ensure that Remembrance Day is not limited to one day a year. They help preserve the stories, sacrifices, and the service of those who came before us. They provide continuing support and fellowship to those connected to the military and to those in the broader community. In Brantford, Unit 341 has been proud to be part of that work. Our members care deeply about this city. They care about remembrance. They care about veterans and their families. They care about having a place where people can gather in friendship, in service, and in mutual support. The goal of the rebuild is to simply not replace walls, doors, or windows. The goal is to restore a community space with purpose. We want to build a facility that is safe, welcoming, accessible, and capable of serving the needs of our members and the community for decades to come. We want to return to hosting, supporting, and participating in the kinds of activities that connected Unit 341 to Brantford for generations. The Council's support of this resolution would help us move forward on that goal. It would also send a positive message to our members and volunteers. It would show that the city recognizes the value of long-standing local organizations and understands that rebuilding is not only about construction, it's also about restoring the community benefit that existed before. I believe the resolution before you is measured and practical. It is directly connected to the restoration of our unit, and it supports a non-for-profit organization with a long record of service. It aligns also with the broader ideal that municipalities can help strengthen the community by supporting organizations that contribute to civic life. We are very grateful for the many ways the community has engaged us since the loss of our building. People have shared stories, offered support, and reminded us that Unit 341 has meant something more to them and their families, and that encouragement has mattered greatly. It has reminded us that rebuilding is not only important to our membership, but is also important to those who understood the role the unit has played in Brantford for many years. As president, I feel a responsibility for our members to speak with care and respect. I also feel the responsibility to acknowledge the seriousness of the decision before you. Public funds and municipal decisions are to be considered thoughtfully and we understand that. From our perspective, supporting this resolution would both be meaningful and appropriate. It would help a long-standing organization recover from the loss of its building and to continue its service. It would support the restoration of a facility that has contributed to the life of the community. And it would reflect the city's recognition of veterans organizations and volunteer groups as an important part of Brantford's civic foundation. I would like to express also our appreciation to the work of city staff and officials who have been involved in the process connected to our rebuild. The project like this involves many steps, and we understand that each step has a particular purpose. Our intent has always been to work through those steps respectfully and to move forward in a way that results in a safe and lasting facility. We want the finished building to be something our members can be proud of, something our community can be proud of, and something that reflects the history and the future of Unit 341 in Brantford. There is still work ahead, but this resolution represents an opportunity to support that work. For more than 65 years, Unit 341 has stood as a place of service, remembrance, and community. We hope to continue that role for many years to come. On behalf of the unit, our members, and our volunteers, and all those who look forward to seeing the unit rebuilt, I respectfully ask Council to support the resolution before you. And thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Logan. Okay, I do have Councillor Carpenter up for questions, and we have just over a minute.
Thank you, Logan, and thanks for the work you do for the association. I was there that next day with you across the road. You didn't just lose the building, you lost the other things. Could you expand on the things that you lost?
Through the chair, that's right, Councillor. So we had been in that particular location for almost 6 decades. We lost memorabilia, war collectibles, people's personal history that had been donated from their life, connections to Brantford, real life stories that mattered. And we're doing everything we can now to engage with the public to see if we can restore some of that lost material.
And your new building will be a standalone building, will it not?
Currently at our location, I would expect the other landowners to have opportunities to rebuild. But as it is right now, I understand we're the only ones looking to rebuild. So as for now, we will be a standalone building.
Okay, and thank you for your service.
Thank you as well.
Councillor Martin, I've got about 6 seconds on the clock.
Thank you. A lot of the service clubs are suffering from declining membership. Did you consider merging with one of the other clubs to bolster both yours and their membership?
Through the chair, thank you, Councillor. We do have a very secure roll of members.
Okay.
We have over 100 members on our roll currently. The association charter that we have doesn't allow us to amalgamate, though we do in tandem support other social clubs as they do support us during the period we are facing right now. The other veterans clubs have stood up and they've helped us a lot by taking on some of our responsibilities with events and so on.
Okay, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Logan. We have extended our time. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, we're.
I'll move we extend it by 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. Councillor Carpenter is seconding that. We'll take a vote.
I'm gonna put it to a vote.
Motion to extend the time carries on a recorded vote of 10-0. All those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councillors Sullivan, Martin, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Sicoli, Caputo, McCreary, Hunt, and Samwell.
Okay, Mayor Davis, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So through you to Logan. Logan, there are many people in the community that aren't members of the unit, but have attended various events at the facility, whether it be a buck and doe, wedding, concert. And I'm sure many members of the community would be probably quite interested in hearing you're going to be rebuilding. So a couple of questions, really primarily for those watching. So will it be in the same location?
Through the chair, yes, that's right, Mayor Davis, yes.
All right. And will it be the same size with the same amenities, or are you going to be doing something a little different?
Well, the facility being built in the late fifties will need some quite modern upgrades. So we're looking forward to uh, having a modern facility. The drawings we have currently proposed will be a fully functioning modern facility with all amenities needed for families, anybody for accessibility, everything included.
And will it generally be the same size?
Yes, it will be, yes.
All right. And so be able to have the same kinds of events in that facility.
That is correct, yes, yes.
And when do you hope it will be finished?
I would be, I think it'd be inappropriate for me to provide a timeline at this moment, but we are hoping to get things complete as soon as possible. We are already in 24 months past the date of loss. So we are hoping within the next at least 12 months to have a building up.
And what have your members been doing in the interim?
Our members continue to advocate for veterans. We support our local community. We attend conferences across the province. We'll be attending a convention in British Columbia to support their association and to promote the city of Brantford and to further our objectives as a veterans organization.
And for those of us that aren't members but are sympathetic and would like to see the club rebuild or the unit rebuild, what is it that other members of the public can do who are not members?
If those who can part with anything that they wish to donate to our facility for their member of their family, family members, memorabilia to become part of our future. If anyone wishes to have any capital contributions, of course, that would always be grateful for a nonprofit and advocating, speaking about us. It's important.
And is your organization able to issue charitable donation receipts?
We are not a registered charity, no. We're a not-for-profit registered organization.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Logan. And we will be dealing with this item shortly. Okay, moving on to 7. Councillor Sullivan, I believe you have the motion to place all separated items not previously voted on the floor. Please state your seconder.
Absolutely. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Secoli, that all items for consideration, consent 7.1, 7.2 separated for discussion purposes be approved.
Okay, we will now consider item 8.1. Councillor Carpenter, please move your resolution and state your seconder.
Thank you. It's moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Brian Van Tilburg. Whereas the Army, Navy, and Air Force veterans in Canada, Unit 341 has proudly served the citizens of Brantford and area since 1959, providing support and advocacy for veterans, active members of the Canadian Armed Forces, their families, and numerous community organizations. Whereas Army, Navy, Air Force Vets Unit 341 has been a long-standing and valued community partner supporting charitable initiatives, remembrance activities, veterans programs, and community events for more than 65 years. And whereas the Army, Navy, Air Force Vets building located at 645 Corbin Street East was destroyed by a devastating fire on October 8th, 2024, resulting in significant financial burden on the organization as it works to rebuild its facilities. And whereas the organization has already paid building permit fees and additional costs associated with reconstruction to continue to place financial strain on its rebuilding efforts. And whereas the city of Brantford recognized the invaluable contributions made by veterans, organizations, and community service clubs that enrich the quality of life in our community. Now therefore be resolved, City Council waive all municipal planning and building permit related fees associated with the reconstruction of the Army, Navy, and Air Force veterans in Canada Unit 341 facility, and the City Council refund all municipal planning and building permit fees associated with the reconstruction already paid by the Army, Navy, Air Force Vets Unit 341, and that a copy of the resolution be forwarded to the Army, Navy, Air Force Vets Unit 341 in recognition of its more than 65 years of service to veterans and citizens in Brantford. And I may just speaking to it. I just like, enough's been said. It's already been said, the value of our veterans clubs in our community. I just like to add a small amendment that this be circulated to the other veterans clubs as well to know what we're doing to support them. Thank you.
Councillor Mark.
Thank you. I'll be supporting this wholeheartedly. I've been to many events at the former facility and enjoyed them there. And I agree with supporting veterans. I have a son in the military, so it's near and dear to my heart. And good luck with your rebuild. I hope everything goes well.
Counselor Samwell.
Thank you. First, I want to thank you, Logan, for being here today. When I saw you tonight, it reminded me of when I ran into you at the planning department when you were just first trying to figure this out. And it's such a positive thing to see this before us tonight. I understand what something like this means to your members and to our community, and I definitely will be supporting this. And it seems like a very positive step forward. I look forward to seeing you guys rebuilt. Thank you.
Counselor Carpenter, did you want to add an amendment to?
If I could, as a friendly amendment, that's be circulated to the other veterans clubs in our community. And as I say, it's accepted as friendly by the seconder.
Okay, thank you. So we just vote. Okay, seeing no other raised hands, we will take the vote as amended.
That item carries on a recorded vote of 10-0. All those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councilors Sullivan, Martin, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Secoli, Caputo, McCreary, Hunt, and Samwell.
Okay, we will now take up the rest of the separated items as they appear on the agenda. 7.1.1, Councillor Samwell, this was your request.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. I just wanted to thank staff for all of the hard work that's gone into this report. And I also just had something, though, that I wanted to mention, that I think that it would be important that the portion of the report that speaks to the farmers market campaign, I think it would be great to see that expanded to include the businesses that were in this same area during the phase 1 construction. So I just wanted to note that, and hopefully staff can take that away and address that. Thank you.
Seeing no other raised hands, we will call the vote.
That item carries on a recorded vote of 10-0. All those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councilors Sullivan, Martin, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Secoli, Caputo, McCreary, Hunt, and Samwell.
Okay, and moving on to 7.1.5, Councillor Martin, you requested this.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. It's a question to staff. There's a chart in there that lays out how much goes to the developer from the incremental tax increase. Will the amount that doesn't go to the developer go towards the new sports and entertainment center? So I believe that was part of the financing for that.
Through the chair to Councillor Martin, yes, that's correct. It was already previously identified that all the funds from the
Incremental.
building, incremental building down there would all go towards the sports and entertainment center reserve to help pay for that project.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, seeing no other raised hands, we'll call the vote.
That item carries on a recorded vote of 10-0. All those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councilors Sullivan, Martin, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Secoli, Caputo, McCreary, Hunt, and Samwell.
Okay, moving on to resolutions. There are 4 resolutions on tonight's agenda. Item 8.1, we have already dealt with. So 8.2, Councillor Samwell, please read your motion, state your seconder.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Tilburg. Why we remember, telling the story of remembrance all year. Whereas communities across Canada hold Remembrance Day ceremonies to honor those who served and gave their lives in armed conflict, and whereas Remembrance Day happens once a year, while the sacrifice of those who have served has a lasting impact. Whereas telling the story of sacrifice all year round makes the act of remembrance all the more poignant. And whereas the city of Brantford maintains a number of war memorials in War Memorial Park, Jubilee Terrace Park, Tom Thumb Park, all of which located surrounding the Sergeant William Merrifield VC Armory. Now therefore it be resolved that staff be directed to research the creation of a new commemorative installation in the area of the War Memorial Park, Jubilee Terrace Park, and Tom Thumb Park to tell the story of the conflicts where residents of Brantford served and lost their lives, and more specifically, provide examples of a range of commemorative installations and strategies in other municipalities, included but not limited to plaques and storyboards, and the costs associated with such projects, and that staff report back to council by September 29th, 2026, with examples of different installation scopes and associated. And so I just wanted to say to that we have the opportunity to create something really special here. And this really just allows staff to look at what other communities are doing and then come up with something that serves Brantford well. And I just wanted to also add to that as this moves forward, there will be consultation with the Army, the Navy, and the Air Cadets and the veterans and all of the stakeholders involved as we create something really special for our community to honor. And so that I hope everybody will support this tonight.
Okay, seeing no other raised hands, sorry, Councilor McCurry.
Chair, thank you very much. Well done. Kudos to Councillor Samuel. I just want to ask staff if there's anything in the way of an update with respect to the public art plan for the Jubilee Terrace Park that's underway currently.
Through the chair to the counselor. So right now there are 4 artist rendering proposals that are currently out for consultation on the Let's Talk Brantford platform. And then following consultation, they will go back to a juried committee for final selection.
So is there imagery available now, Nicole?
Yes, there is. Yes, it's available on Let's Talk.
Okay, well done. And having heard what Councillor Samuel said about consultation, would staff interpret that to mean you'd be consulting with the 56 Field Regiment as well as the folks that participate in the Remembrance Day Commemoration Committee as well?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, good show. Thank you.
Okay, now seeing no other raised hands, we will call the vote.
That item carries on a recorded vote of 10-0. All those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councillor Sullivan, Martin, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Sicoli, Caputo, McCreary, Hunt, and Samwell.
Okay, next up we have 8.3. Councillor Caputo, can you please read your motion and stake your seconder?
Absolutely, Madam Chair. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Sicoli. Whereas the Corporation of the City of Brantford requires a minor variance application be approved by the Committee of Adjustment to address deviations from the minimum or maximum requirements of the city's applicable zoning bylaws or municipal codes, such as the sign bylaw, Chapter 478 of the Brantford Municipal Code. And whereas the owner of 113 King George Road received a refusal on November 3rd, 2023 for a minor variance application, file number 834-2023, to permit 3 digital side-by-side billboard signs on the property. And whereas the owner of 113 King George Road received a conditional approval on April 8th, 2026 for a minor variance application, file number A05-2026, to permit 3 digital signs by side billboard signs and to permit a 3rd face on a billboard that is not clearly visible from the King George Road. And the owner submitted a check for $2,873.70, the applicable 2025 minor variance application fee. Now therefore be it resolved that the city council waive the applicable minor variance application fee and direct planning staff to refund the submitted fee of $2873.70 to the applicant. And if I can speak to this for a moment, the reason I brought this forth is because this wasn't a new submission. It was a continuation on a new development that was happening. So it wasn't a new development access part. I feel that working in good faith collaboration, the applicant met directly with city planners after the 2023 refusal, and staff advised that they would support the submission with all adjustments made in accordance with the city planning. Putting forth the waiver of fee agreement, waiving the fee was discussed with the planners during those meetings. However, it was acknowledged that it's a council's decision. Project resolution, single project. The second submission was a continuation and not a new development. So paying two fees hurts local business owners who follow staff advice and correct the issues. So I'm asking for council to submit back a refund of $2883.70. Thank you.
Before we go to further speakers, Councillor McCurry.
Madam Chair, thank you. I was negligent in declaring a continuing conflict on this item. I did it before, and I wish to be excused from participation in voting.
Thank you. Conflict noted. We have Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to staff. If this is a continuation, why were they charged a new fee?
Through the chair to the counselor, I wouldn't necessarily characterize it as a continuation, but I would say that the application was similar. So the first application was submitted to the C of A. Staff processed that application as we would normally do. The application was denied with a series of recommendations that the owner could build off of if should they want to resubmit. After quite some time had passed, the owner resubmitted. And so we resubmitted and addressed all of the C of A's concerns, in which case then the application was ultimately supported. So I wouldn't necessarily say it was a continuation, but it was two applications for the same project.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I won't be supporting this. I think this is something where if we start waiving fees for projects coming forward, we're going to see an onslaught of that. And we're going to end up with a shortage in our budget because of the waiving of fees.
Mayor Davis.
Yeah, I have some comments, but first a question to staff through you, Madam Chair. So on the first application, what was the recommendation staff made to the Committee of Adjustment? Was it to approve it subject to conditions?
No, it was to deny the application.
Okay. And the Committee of Adjustment then did deny the application, right? And during that process of the first application, did staff indicate to the proponent conditions or changes that might have caused staff to change their opinion?
Staff did meet with the proponent to discuss the ruling or staff's decision or ultimate recommendation to the C of A, as well as the C of A's ruling, and we suggested ways that the application could be improved. The applicant took that information and then amended the application and brought it forward.
Okay. So we have waived these kinds of fees. In fact, we just did it earlier this evening, but that was for a nonprofit. Have we ever done this before for a for-profit corporation, knowing there is in this section of the Municipal Act a regulation or a section that prohibits us from bonusing private corporations? Like, do we have any precedent for doing this?
So through the chair to Mayor Davis, council has from time to time made decisions to refund planning or building permit application fees for various reasons.
And what typically are the reasons?
Generally, the reasons are often because of the financial position of the organization that's seeking the refund. It often doesn't have to do with the planning merit of the application.
Okay. Well, Madam Chair, my memory of it is we've done this before for private corporations. Usually it's because There has been, in the course of an application, a change in provincial legislation that's required a second application. Or typically, it's been a situation where there's been, an unacknowledged error by city staff that just made it unfair to charge the fee a second time. I'm not quite seeing that here. We do have the municipal act that does say there's to be no bonusing. We have been given advice by staff. I can't indicate what that is, but we have been given lots of advice. And I'm going to have to, in this situation, I don't think there are the features or the aspects of this that would justify us issuing or declaring a refund in this particular situation. I don't think it's similar to other situations where we've done it. And I agree with Councillor Martin that if we do this, I think we can expect to see many more requests for refunds from private interests, which I don't think is appropriate.
Thank you. I have a question, but before we do that, I'm going to go to Councillor McCreary so that he can declare the reason for his conflict.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Same reasons I declared before. The clerk can check the exact wording, but it relates to a business interest with the proponent.
Thank you, Councillor McCreary. My question would be to legal, following up on Mayor Davis's point. Would the refund of this fee be considered bonusing under the Municipal Act?
Through the chair, Kim Jolly, City Solicitor. Unfortunately, I can't give that legal advice here on the floor today, but council is of course able to move in camera if you would like to receive legal advice on this subject.
Okay, thank you. Okay, seeing no others. Oh, sorry, Councillor Van Tilburg. I can hardly see you for the monitor, but go ahead.
Thank you. Councillor Carpenter's in that same vision block too, I noticed. Yeah, my question again is for legal, following up on what Councillor Hunt was saying. If it were deemed bonusing, was there a penalty towards council or something? Like, what is it for not even for this, what is the penalty for bonusing, I guess is what, and how would that appear if such a thing were to occur?
Through the chair, again, that would be providing legal advice to the city on this particular subject matter. And I do recommend that council move in camera if you would like to receive further advice on this subject.
Mayor Davis.
I would move that we move in camera to receive the legal advice. I don't think it'll take very long. I don't think it's that complicated. Seeking a seconder.
Sorry, we need to state the reason that we're going in camera. And well, I can state it, or Mayor.
So that we go in camera to receive legal advice, whether this is or is not bonusing.
Which is advice subject to solicitor.
Yeah, it's advice subject to solicitor client
Thank you.
privilege. Thank you.
That item carries on a recorded vote of 7-2. Those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councillors Martin, Van Tilburg, Sicoli, Caputo, Hunt, and Samwell. Those opposed, Councillors Sullivan and Carpenter.
Okay, we're going to recess so that we can go in camera. Councillor Sullivan will get the link to join us in camera, and the recess will be 15 minutes. committee of the whole meeting back to order. In interest of transparency, I'm reporting that we in camera to get legal advice. Legal advice was provided. And so moving on to moving up to council.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to withdraw this resolution.
Point of order. Resolution been moved and seconded and several speakers. Is the proper procedure to with one member of council to withdraw when it belongs to the floor?
I'm going to rule that that is out of order just because there's been a significant amount of discussion already taken place. Councillor Martin.
I move we call the question.
Seeing no other speakers, we will call the vote.
That item carries on a recorded vote of 8-0. All those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councillor Sokoli, Caputo, Martin, Hunt, Carpenter, Samwell, and Van Tilburg.
Point of order, I voted no.
Sorry.
Okay.
My apologies, Council. Just some e-scribe problems. Make a correction of that. Thank you. That item lost on a recorded vote of 8-0. All those opposed, Mayor Davis, Councillor Sokoli, Caputo, Martin, Hunt, Carpenter, Samwell, and Van Tilburg.
Thank you. Moving on to 8.4, transit service on statutory holidays. Councillor Van Tilburg, please read your motion and state your seconder.
Moved by myself and seconded for Councillor Samwell. Whereas in 2025, Brantford Transit introduced a new transit plan moving forward, which aims to help city better align its transit network to meet the needs of Brantford Transit's current and future users. And whereas the moving forward plan is designed to reduce waiting times, improve reliability, and make travel easier for users of Brantford Transit. And whereas Brantford Transit offers only limited service on statutory holidays, while no service is currently offered on other statutory holidays. And whereas an increasing number of service-focused businesses are open on some statutory holidays, and whereas there is an increasing number of community events and other social activities being held on statutory holidays, and whereas current ridership statistics for those statutory holidays where Brantford Transit services offered show that there is growing demand for the service on statutory holidays, and therefore staff be directed to prepare options, including costing, to provide Brantford Transit services during all statutory holidays, and that this information be provided to council as part of the deliberations for the 2027 city services budget. And I believe the resolution pretty much says everything that's needed about it. So I'm hoping that we'll get full support for this.
Okay, seeing no raised hands, last call. We'll call the vote.
That item carries on a recorded vote of 9-0. All those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councillors Martin, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Sokoli, Caputo, McCreary, Hunt, and Samwell.
Point of order. I had actually didn't get the opportunity to vote on that. It didn't come up on my screen, but I was in favor of it.
Thank you, Councillor Sullivan. That has been noted.
Okay, moving on, we have one notice of motion on tonight's agenda. Councillor Secoli, I understand you want to waive the rules to have a notice of motion heard as a resolution this evening. Please read the motion and state your seconder.
Yes, thank you. And I'm gonna hope for it to show up on the screen because my e-scribe is flashing on and off. Thank you. That section, so motion to waive the rules, that section 15.11.5 of chapter 15 of the City of Brantford Municipal Code be waived in order to introduce the following resolution without prior notice of motion. Resolution reads, Mission Possible Paint the Town Pink campaign. Whereas October is nationally recognized as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, providing an important opportunity for communities to raise awareness, show solidarity with those affected, and support local health initiatives. And whereas local organizers, survivor, and breast cancer awareness advocate Brandy Lee has led the Mission Possible Paint the Town Pink campaign in Brantford for several years, partnering with first responders, local businesses, and community members to raise awareness, spread hope, and generate funds for patient supports at Dravinsky Hospital and Brantford General Hospital. And whereas Brantford Fire Associations are currently pursuing a complementary initiative to wrap the city fire truck with breast cancer and prostate cancer awareness messaging during October and November, offering an opportunity for coordinated design and enhanced community impact. And whereas City Transit Bus Wrap, aligned with the Mission Possible Paint the Town Pink campaign, would demonstrate council's commitment to community health awareness and supporting residents who advocate on behalf of cancer patients in our community. Now therefore be it resolved that council direct communications and community engagement staff to develop and implement breast cancer awareness messaging for a partial city transit bus wrap for the month of October 2026 in alignment with the Mission Possible Paint the Town Pink campaign, with related production and installation costs of an estimated $15,000 to be funded from the Council Priorities Reserve, and that communications and community engagement staff be directed to coordinate with Brantford Firefighters Association to incorporate common design elements where appropriate to maximize community impact and visual cohesion across both the city bus and the Brantford fire truck awareness initiatives. And this is seconded by Councillor Martin. And just to speak to why we're waiving the rules, it's just that from the time that this came across my desk and trying to get it up and live in October, we need to discuss it this month because there is no cycle in August. And if we were to discuss it in September, we wouldn't be able to ratify it till the end of September, which doesn't leave enough time to paint the bus pink for October 1st. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, so first off, we will take the vote on the motion to waive.
The motion to waive the rules carries on a recorded vote of 10-0. All those in favor, Mayor Davis, Councillors Sullivan, Martin, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Secoli, Caputo, McCreary, Hunt, and Samwell.
Okay, Councillor Secoli, I don't want you to reread your, but I do need your seconder for the
It'll be Councillor Martin again,
resolution. Okay.
and that's the Mission Possible Paint the Town Pink campaign.
Did you wish to speak to the resolution?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So this comes to us today from Brandy Lee, who is no stranger to most of us who are sitting up here. But for those watching, Brandy is a breast cancer survivor and an ambassador for promoting breast cancer awareness. And in short, she is an absolute warrior and has been such an amazing leader in the community. So Brandy approached me and she had a dream. She wanted a pink fire truck and a pink city bus for her awareness campaign. And she sought help from us counselors. So I was happy to champion that. She is working also with the Firefighter Association and Brant Community Healthcare Foundation to do the same type of thing with a fire truck. But these two projects are not necessarily tied together. One can happen without the other and vice versa. We just thought that since we have some insight that that is happening. It would be nice to have cohesive messaging and sort of match the coloring and the branding on both units, if we do move forward with both of them. But I'm happy to champion this and be part of the Mission Pink initiative and help Brandy achieve her goal of painting the town pink this October. And I want to thank Councillor Martin for seconding this. And he, I think, has an idea to sort of expand on this into November and continue to be a little more cohesive with prostate awareness. But I will let him bring that forward. So thank you very much. I hope I can count on everyone's support today.
Councillor Samwell. Thank you. So sometimes the simplest initiatives can have the biggest impact, and a bus driving around our city will certainly bring meaningful awareness to this. So I just also wanted to thank Brandy for all of the efforts that she's put into our community in the Paint It Pink mission. And I look forward to supporting this tonight and to seeing that bus drive around in October. Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. And Councillor Coley is correct. I'd like to move an amendment that in discussions with her will be friendly, but that in addition to painting the town pink in October, that we paint the town blue in November. As most people are aware, I'm a survivor of prostate cancer, and I participate in the Movember fundraiser every year. So this is something that is near and dear to my heart. And because I've discussed this with Councillor Coley and she's considering it friendly, that makes the mover and seconder, unless there's an objection, and insert prostate cancer for November, following anywhere it says breast cancer in October. And it would probably require doubling the financial amount. So it would change it to 30,000 from 15,000.
Okay, just so, Councillor Caputo, I saw your hand raised, and I'm assuming you want to speak to the resolution as amended. So, Corey, do you have the? Okay, so the amendment is friendly. So, Councillor Caputo, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm supporting everything here this evening. My mom had breast cancer and she's a survivor. My dad had prostate cancer and he's a survivor. This is very dear to me, as it is dear to, I'm sure, a lot of people in this community. And for those who have had it or are going through it today, my prayers to you. But I think that this is an absolutely phenomenal idea, and I think it's something that we can rally around as a group of citizens here in support of what's being presented here tonight. So I applaud both these councillors for what they've done here tonight.
Councillor Carpenter.
Yes, I'm supportive of them. This will require 2/3 vote, if I'm correct.
Sorry, I believe the motion to waive required a 2/3 vote.
No, does the contingency fund require 2/3? And while we're waiting for an answer, could I?
Sorry, the clerk is indicating no.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So what is the balance of the contingency reserve fund? You knew I was gonna ask that question, didn't you?
Thank you, Councillor Carpenter. Yes, through the chair to you. So the balance in that reserve right now is just over $700,000. And just to clarify, council priorities does not require a 2/3 vote for that.
Thank you for that.
You're
Okay, thank you. And I will wholeheartedly support this as well. It's a good program. It's good to promote, and the community will be aware, make awareness widespread for both October and November. Thank you.
Seeing no further raised hands, we will call the vote on this one.
Apologies, council. The software has timed out. If we can do a vote by a show of hands. That vote carries unanimously.
Thank you. So we've reached the end of our agenda. Please note that the notice of motion deadline for the council agenda is this Thursday at 9 a.m.